Let me teach you how to be rich. It's quick, it's easy, and the only reason everyone hasn't done it yet is because they were too lazy. But you're not like that, you're smart. Just deposit $99.99 right now and I'll teach you the secrets that entrepreneurs don't want you to know. What? Yeah, it's Monopoly money. We can just CGI in like real money later. You only need to spend a few minutes on YouTube to be inundated with videos promising you the secret to getting rich. And more than that, a lot of them promise that it's going to be incredibly easy to get there. But let's be real for a second. You're probably never going to be rich. And there are actually a lot of good reasons why you should be okay with that. Social media makes it seem like everyone else is out there making millions, traveling the world and living this incredible lifestyle. But the truth is that the vast majority of us will never be ultra rich. If you've found yourself in this cycle of chasing dreams of getting rich and then feeling frustrated when the path to wealth still eludes you, stop right now. I don't want you to waste time feeling bad about yourself because you're not rich yet. We're going to talk about why most people won't become millionaires, why that doesn't mean you're failing, and how you can still live a great life without chasing extreme wealth. So first of all, why won't you be rich? Why am I shattering all of your dreams? Is it not better to live a life where you're aspirational and always striving for more? And if you're not manifesting that wealth, then it won't ever come, surely. But in saying that you're probably not going to be the next billionaire tech mogul, side hustle success story, superstar lifestyle influencer, or investing legend, I'm not being negative. It's just maths. Let me explain. Being rich is incredibly rare. Fewer than 1% of people in the world are multi-millionaires. In the UK, around 3% of UK adults have a net worth of more than $1 million. The next point to make is that a lot of wealthy people either inherit that money, they had help from the bank of mum and dad, or they were in the right place at the right time. Or it might be a combination of all of these things. Let me give you a personal example of this. Now, I'm not mega rich. That's so annoying. But luck and generational wealth have given me a leg up. So we bought our first house around 15 years ago for around £300,000 with the help of some money that we got from an inheritance. And we sold it 5 years later for £500,000. Had we tried to buy that house now, which is probably worth about £600,000 today, with the deposit that we had, we wouldn't have been able to do it on our meager journalist salaries. We totally benefited from buying at the right time with help from a family inheritance, and then we profited more than maybe we would have done due to improvements to infrastructure in the area that sent the value of the house rocketing upwards. Now just imagine this on a grander scale. Like one really well-known example might be Donald Trump, who started his first business with a small loan of $1 million from family members. It doesn't mean there's no talent involved in businesses where family wealth helped them to get started. But you can see how much easier it is for people who come from family wealth to get ahead. They can afford to get started and take risks, and they have a safety net, which means that they can afford to fail. In the UK, it is estimated that £17 billion is given or lent informally each year, almost all from parents to their adult children. And the children of the rich receive more cash more frequently. The next point to make is that even high salary jobs don't guarantee extreme wealth. And that's because taxes, lifestyle inflation, and expenses eat away at that money. A six-figure salary may sound really great, but when you have a family to support and bills to pay, that really eats away at it. At the end of the day, it's still a finite amount of money. Just because you earn six figures, it doesn't mean you're going to be a millionaire. It's going to take a long time for someone on six figures to become a millionaire if they are spending all of the money they earn every single month. Let me just give you one example. Say a family where only one parent earns 150k will take home £90,000, and that means they have about £7,544 a month. The average mortgage payment for a detached UK home bought in 2022 would be about £2,000 according to the ONS. And then you've got childcare. Now, there's no help with childcare costs once you're beyond the threshold for 3 hours, so you have to foot the bill. When you've got two small children, attending even just 2.5 days of nursery per week, that could cost around £1,200 a month. Next, holidays. Let's say that this family takes a nice 2-week holiday costing 10 grand once a year. They're high earners, they want to go somewhere nice. That's £833 a month. Next, food and household bills, that's going to be setting them back at least £1,500 a month. And then obviously we've got to think about transportation, so cars. Say they bought a new car each, costing a total of £1,200 a month to repay. They're now left with around £800 to put into their pensions, savings and investment. And I didn't even budget in things like going out and Christmas and birthdays or household repairs. My point is that these people aren't going to become millionaires overnight with this budget. And if they decide to send those two kids to private school, which a lot of people on six figures do, and I totally get why they do, then the cost of their childcare bill is going to zoom up to maybe £1,500 per child for the private school fees, and that depends on what school that they choose. This is just a rough example, but I really hope that it shows that even on 6 figures, building wealth is hard. Once you get to the stage where you're a high earner, you probably have a lot of commitments. Lifestyle inflation has probably kicked in as well. You'll probably be living in a nicer area and you have a family to raise. And finally, then there's the myth that you can just hustle your way to riches. Crypto, day trading, drop shipping, whatever the latest trend might be. The truth is that these things make a few people rich and cost everyone else time and money. Okay, after starting on a bit of a bummer, let's talk about money and happiness. Studies do show that making more money does make you happier, but some of them suggest that this plateaus at a certain point. Now, there are various different studies around this, but the consensus generally is that there's a lot more factors that go into happiness than just salary. One study found that happiness tends to plateau after someone earns $75,000. And then another found that as income increases, it has a diminishing impact on happiness. So you need to earn more and more in order for it to have an impact. The thing is, once basic needs are met, there are plenty of other things in our life that contribute to our well-being, and they aren't all about having a bigger bank balance. Having great friendships, having a happy family life, enjoying what we do for work, and having control over our life choices. Plus, having a cat helps too. Really think about it. Who do you know that's truly happy? It's probably not the person grinding 100 hours a week in order to afford a Lamborghini. It's the person who has financial stability, free time, and a life that they enjoy. Instead of chasing that unrealistic dream of being ultra rich, a better goal is financial security. Having enough to cover your needs, save for the future, and still enjoy life is way more important than striving for some millionaire status. So what should you do instead? If the goal isn't to be filthy rich, what should you be focusing on? Here are 3 things that actually matter. First of all, financial independence over extreme wealth. You can achieve this by doing these things: budgeting and smart spending. Stop trying to keep up with the rich and instead focus on what actually makes you happy. You could be earning 60K a year and have a greater wealth built up than someone on 130K a year if you just budget so that you're saving more money. So in this example right here, you can see that the high earner has much greater liabilities, including a new car repayment. When you set a budget and stick with it, you can maximize the amount that you save every single month and grow your wealth way more efficiently over time. Next, invest for the long term. Skip the risky get-rich-quick schemes and instead invest in index funds, retirement accounts, and assets that grow over time. And really importantly, build an emergency fund. This is what's going to prevent you going into debt and stop you from stressing over money all the time. Money becomes far less of a constant worry if you have actual control over your finances. The next thing to do instead of striving to become filthy rich is to enjoy life along the way. Life is happening right now, not just when you make it. Instead of waiting until you're rich to enjoy things, find joy in the simple things right now. And really importantly, remember that comparative living leads to misery. There will always be someone better off than you, or someone who spends money in a more exciting way that makes you stand up and pay attention because it's so flashy. This can have such a toxic impact on your well-being and your ability to budget. So if you're finding this, step away from social media, give yourself some distance. Everyone, no matter what they earn, has someone ahead of them in terms of earnings and wealth. If we let it carry on, the cycle would never end, no matter how much we earn. And finally, number 3, set realistic goals. Being financially comfortable is way more achievable than being rich. Focus on paying off debt, saving for retirement, and creating a lifestyle that works for you, not what Instagram says success looks like. So as you can see, most of us won't be crazy rich, and that's okay. Financial security, time, and happiness are way more important than just a high net worth. Instead of chasing unrealistic wealth, dreams, and expectations, focus on what actually makes life good. Freedom, security, and enjoying the moment. So what do you guys think? Does rich really equal happiness? Drop a comment and let me know. And if you're into realistic personal finance tips, then don't forget to hit subscribe.